come between a man and his meal. I never forgot that either. Most niggas would have to run the streets for years to learn a lesson that profound. It took me 2 seconds. Never get between somebody and their paper. Taking a man's livelihood away from him is akin to killing him.
Dave Chappelle just released what he claims are receipts suggesting Shannon Sharpe's lawsuit might have been orchestrated, and it's pretty surprising. As most of you know, Shannon was recently sued by a Jane Doe who accused him of allegedly harassing her multiple times. That woman is said to be Gabrielle Zuniga. According to Dave, though, she might be backed by influential individuals who are reportedly working to bring down Club Shay Shay. It's no secret that Shannon has revealed sensitive information about several celebrities on his podcast, and this might explain why some people are aiming to shut it down. The situation becomes more complicated with rumors swirling that Shannon may have engaged in blackmail, specifically that he collected compromising information about high-profile individuals during podcast recordings and used it against them. Now, it seems his good fortune might be fading, and with Dave Chappelle weighing in, more revelations are likely on the way. So, who are the celebrities that Shannon Sharpe allegedly tried to blackmail? Well, one consistent thing about Dave Chappelle, he may tell jokes, but he doesn't lie. When Club Shay Shay started gaining traction, Dave was among the first to caution Shannon about being too bold in exposing celebrity secrets. While inviting guests onto a podcast is one thing, Club Shay Shay began to feel more like a platform that targeted prominent figures in the entertainment industry. And if there's one thing celebrities tend to agree on, it's that they don't appreciate being exposed, especially by one of their own. When Cat Williams appeared on Club Shay Shay last year for his now viral interview, Dave publicly voiced concern. He questioned, "What part of the game is this?" and noted that Cat only criticized black entertainers, not their white counterparts. Dave acknowledged Cat's talent, calling him one of the most skilled in the industry, but wondered why he was portraying fellow black performers so negatively. Hurt people, Dave added, but I'm someone who's been hurt and never hurt anyone else, and Cat does this regularly. Dave also suggested that Cat's approach was damaging the careers of other black comedians. He said, "If I told my story, it would break your heart. I lost everything and never exposed anyone." And here's Cat acting like he's the moral compass. Despite saying he respects Cat, Dave questioned the ethics of hurting another black man's career and publicly calling them out. It's not hard to understand why celebrities began getting upset with Shannon. It's one thing to be criticized by fans or face internet rumors, but it's another when a fellow celebrity uses their own podcast to broadcast those critiques. That's when questions of loyalty and respect began to surface. Of course, many viewers remember the Cat Williams interview. It made a massive impact heading into 2024, triggering a wave of revelations in its wake. With over 80 million views, it's the most watched podcast episode on the platform. But the content clearly rubbed some celebrities the wrong way, and that's when Shannon's issues began to snowball. To be fair, Cat didn't hold back in that interview. Some people felt his tone suggested bitterness, especially since his career had faced several setbacks in recent years. Critics speculated that his motivation may have stemmed from jealousy or frustration. One of the first celebrities he criticized was Cedric the Entertainer, accusing him of plagiarizing material from other comedians and passing it off as original work.
Nobody knows.
Didn't just suggest that Cedric the Entertainer lacked originality, he outright implied Cedric built a career on material he didn't write himself, relying on others or allegedly taking jokes from fellow comedians. Cedric didn't appreciate being publicly called out. In response, he addressed the matter on Instagram, stating, "Revision is history. Regardless of Cat's opinion, my career isn't defined by a single joke he claims is his. I've acted in over 40 films. My stand-up specials and brand speak for themselves. I've helped launch careers including Cat in the Hat at the Gibson Amphitheater. And all that tough talk, it's just corny. I'm a grown man, and this won't play out the way you think. You handle yours, I'll handle mine." Cedric wasn't alone in firing back. Kevin Hart also responded strongly on social media, dismissing Cat as a straight-up clown better suited for a circus. And frankly, many found Kevin's reaction understandable. After all, Cat had already made bold accusations against him. Cat claimed Kevin was disingenuous, accusing him of presenting a carefully constructed public image that wasn't entirely authentic. According to Kat, Kevin's success was more illusion than reality built on media spin and branding rather than pure talent, and Kat's criticisms of Kevin didn't come out of nowhere. The two have had long-standing tension. Much of the conflict traces back to Kat's frequent criticism of the entertainment industry. He often claimed he was blackballed for speaking out and refusing to conform to Hollywood's expectations. Kevin, however, had a different take. Appearing on The Breakfast Club, he said Kat wasn't excluded for being honest, but because he was difficult to work with and often unreliable. So Kevin's comments weren't entirely without context.
Also take full responsibility for any and everything that I've done in business, good or bad. My frustration with Cat Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Cat was in that position at one
You
point.
were the guy. You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You off promo shoots. You off your promo trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped with you.
Why was he at risk?
He chose you.
Oh, okay.
Take responsibility for what you chose and say, you know what? I gotta fix me, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna stand up for comedy. So when you say...
When Kat later exposed personal grievances during his Club Shay Shay appearance, many saw it as retaliation for Kevin's earlier remarks. Kevin, however, didn't back down. He doubled down, repeating his earlier sentiment, calling Kat a clown who truly belonged in the circus.
Hey, Kev, you didn't say nothing to Cat Williams when he did a 3-hour interview talking slow yesterday. You didn't put a shot clock on him.
But do you entertain the circus or do you watch it, Bert? Which one do you do? What do you do? You watch it. You know, man, look at that lion riding the bike. That's what you say.
Unsurprisingly, the interview sparked backlash for both Shannon Sharpe and Cat Williams. They faced criticism across social media for weeks. Rapper Maze even weighed in, accusing Shannon of being anti-black. He pointed out what he saw as inconsistency in Shannon's energy, arguing that Shannon is highly vocal about issues affecting the black community, but noticeably reserved when addressing similar matters involving white individuals.
And thirdly, you call yourself coming at me, right? You want to be aggressive with me, right? Listen, you showed poise, respect, wherewithal, resolve, compassion, reverence for Skip Bayless. Why are you so aggressive anytime somebody black say something? The man said, put your glasses on, and you put your glasses back on. Don't play with me. Put your glasses back on, Shannon.
By the time Kat's interview aired, many viewers were already beginning to question Shannon and his podcast. But things really escalated after Monique appeared on the show. Shannon was already in a delicate position, and Monique's decision to directly name Tyler Perry and Oprah raised concerns that Shannon might be deliberately focusing on high-profile black entertainers. That episode only reinforced what many had begun to suspect. Similar to Cat Williams, Monique didn't hold back. She openly criticized Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Kevin Hart, voicing her frustrations with all of them. Her conflict with Oprah and Tyler stemmed from her refusal to promote Precious beyond what her contract required without additional pay. According to her, she had fulfilled her obligations, and when she declined to participate in unpaid promotional events, things quickly deteriorated. In Hollywood, being blackballed isn't a small issue, it creates a ripple effect. Once major figures like Oprah and Tyler turn away from someone, others in the industry typically follow. Monique became someone people avoided, fearing association might harm their own standing. Despite this, Monique claimed Kevin Hart initially stepped up to support her. She said he portrayed himself as a loyal friend, standing by her during a difficult time. His words and actions made her believe he genuinely cared. However, according to Monique, Kevin later distanced himself without explanation. She felt betrayed, especially since he didn't end things directly, he had others handle it. Worse still, she alleged there is audio of Kevin speaking poorly about her while trying to maintain favor with Tyler. With all this, it's no surprise that Shannon's podcast hasn't exactly been embraced by many celebrities. Even DL Hughley weighed in, criticizing the platform and accusing Shannon of creating a space where guests feel free to spread misleading or false narratives about others in the industry.
Well, Club Shay Shay is getting messier and messier. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a weight set. And so Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do got Captain in front of it. But apparently she goes on Club Shay Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time. And my co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that.
If you thought things were already complicated, it's about to get even more intense. According to circulating rumors, Shannon has allegedly been blackmailing celebrities using sensitive content gathered during his podcast recordings. It's claimed he edits out the most revealing parts of interviews, then holds onto them for leverage. While the accuracy of these claims remains uncertain, if true, they might explain why some individuals appear so determined to bring him down. The timing of the lawsuit against him is especially noteworthy. It was filed just one day before it was publicly revealed that Shannon was negotiating a new deal for Club Shay Shay, reportedly worth over $100 million. This followed the expiration of his previous contract with Colin Cowherd's Volume Podcast Network. The timing seems deliberate, ideal for anyone looking to put an end to the podcast entirely. Shannon's attorney echoed this sentiment in his statement, suggesting the plaintiff acted with full knowledge of Shannon's pending contract and sought to exploit it. He described the situation as a textbook example of blackmail, where the timing was designed to exert maximum pressure. The lawsuit filed by Jane Doe accuses Shannon of emotional manipulation and controlling behavior, claiming he allegedly assaulted her on separate occasions in October 2024 and January 2025, despite her repeated pleas to stop. The complaint includes descriptions of alleged threats and physical aggression, with the plaintiff asserting that Shannon ignored her refusals even as she cried and screamed. She also stated she was only 19 when their relationship began, while Shannon was 54. Furthermore, she claims Shannon secretly recorded their intimate moments, supposedly for personal use, but that he later shared those recordings with friends. To complicate matters further, her legal team stated Shannon and his representatives offered her $10 million to avoid legal proceedings, a point that Shannon's lawyer later confirmed. Whether this was an attempt to conceal wrongdoing or simply protect his public image remains up for debate. The plaintiff, identified as Gabrielle Zuniga, is being represented by attorney Tony Busby. In a statement, Busby explained that their office reached out to Shannon in early February on behalf of Jane Doe to explore the possibility of resolving the matter privately. Over the next 6 weeks, multiple conversations and a formal mediation process took place. During this mediation, Shannon, represented by a different legal team, reportedly made a substantial offer to settle. However, Jane Doe declined the settlement and moved forward with her lawsuit. Busby highlighted what he called a contradiction. On one hand, Shannon's team claims the lawsuit is baseless, but on the other, they offered $10 million to prevent it from being filed. He confirmed in writing that the offer was real, but that Jane Doe turned it down, opting instead to pursue litigation. He also noted that Shannon's camp has since attempted to discredit and expose the plaintiff and has also started targeting him, the attorney. In response, Shannon's team released a statement and began sharing past text messages allegedly sent by Jane Doe. These messages include highly explicit language and suggestive content, including references to sexual acts and provocative proposals. The texts are being used to counter the narrative presented in the lawsuit and raise questions about the nature of the relationship between the two. Now, the main statement from Shannon's legal team responded by saying the lawsuit filed by Gabriela Zuniga, along with her attorney Tony Busby, is a clear and calculated effort to pressure Mr. Sharpe into a massive financial settlement. Ms. Zuniga presented Mr. Sharpe with a secretly recorded video of an intimate, consensual encounter. We believe the footage was heavily edited and taken out of context in an effort to misrepresent a consensual interaction as something else. They continued, the available evidence shows that this was an adult relationship involving role-playing, explicit language, and fantasy scenarios initiated by Ms. Zuniga. The selectively edited video, combined with previous text messages, falsely implies the act was non-consensual. Mr. Sharpe fully denies any form of coercion or wrongdoing, including the serious and false allegation of assault. He will not comply with what he believes is a blatant attempt at blackmail. Mr. Sharpe is committed to the truth and intends to defend himself through the legal process. He looks forward to clearing his name in court. However, Jane Doe's attorney, Tony Busby, countered this by pointing out that the messages released by Sharpe's team were sent before the alleged incident occurred. He said every message Mr. Sharpe's legal team published today, allegedly from Jane Doe, predates the serious incident she described in the lawsuit. These were clearly shared to shift attention away from the actual allegations. But it won't work. Busby also shared another set of texts from Jane Doe, in which she said, "I cried when you left because I asked you to wear protection and not go there and you didn't listen. I don't care about our history." No means no, Shannon. I'm struggling to understand this, Sharpe reportedly replied, asking if he could call her, but that wasn't the end. Busby also released an audio clip where Shannon allegedly can be heard making threatening remarks, including threatening to choke Gabriela.
I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me, so I feel like...
I'm not gonna hang up on you. It is what it is.
What? What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You wanna be a dick to me now, so...
I don't wanna be... Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna fucking choke the shit out of you when I see you. You know what?
Oh, I don't wanna be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
In another clip, Shannon can allegedly be heard making unsettling comments about a large black man choking a petite white woman. Gabriela is heard saying, "Well, I'm not really into being choked, so I guess we're done here," to which the Voice reportedly Sharpe replies, "Yeah, I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman."
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I may choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
After releasing the clip, Tony Busby commented, "The content of this recording is alarming. It is not flirtatious, it's aggressive, troubling, and unsafe." He said the audio reveals how Jane Doe felt she had no choice but to leave Nevada and cut off all communication with Shannon. As mentioned earlier, this situation is extremely complicated. And when you consider Dave Chappelle's recent comments about this being a coordinated takedown, the timing does start to feel deliberate. The last thing Shannon's adversaries would want is for him to gain a $100 million platform where he could potentially reveal even more. There's a lot unfolding here, so share your thoughts on Dave Chappelle's statements in the comments and don't forget to check out the next video.